Today I'd like to talk about something that's quite unpopular and something that we kind of cringe away from, and that's the subject of shame. And shame is something that comes up time and time again in one-to-one sessions with people, and it's often one of the kind of last things that comes up to be fully seen, acknowledged, allowed, and then it can be processed and released. And it's completely normal. If we're human right now, every one of us has experienced the energy of shame, and that's what it is. It is an energy. And it's not something that we believe I did something wrong. It's generally the belief that there is something wrong with me. And often shame happens at its most deepest core level in childhood, when the nervous system and the brain are still developing, and the brain of the child is most of the time in a theta brainwave state. There can't be any rationalisation or contextualisation or understanding of adult behaviour really, or danger, or the emotional complexity of something that happens. But the body of that child just knows that it feels overwhelming. And it can be any situation. It could be serious situations like neglect, abuse, but it can be emotional absence, rejection, being unseen, or a parent or a caregiver that's dysregulated. And the child's system asks just one core question, which is, what do I need to change about myself to stay safe, loved, or connected? And that child can't think that, okay, that parent is overwhelmed right now, they're really stressed because work or whatever's happening to them. They can't rationalise or think that it's not my fault because I haven't done anything wrong. And they can't think that adults are also imperfect. They just internalise the experience as self-blame. And then the self-blame becomes shame. And obviously shame doesn't just occur in childhood. We can have shame from things that happen as we're a bit older on the journey. But it is something that every single one of us has experienced at some point or another. And often on the awakening journey, shame is something that surfaces. And it can feel, when it does, I've done all of this work and now I feel like I'm going backwards. But it's actually not that. It is just because the awareness starts to increase and the nervous system relaxes just enough. And that's when, as I've mentioned many times before, the previously buried things that we did bury for survival, to stay safe and all of those things, start to surface. And shame is often the last layer of that because it is the most vulnerable of all of them. And if we look at it like this, don't like the word trauma, but it is the most appropriate word, is the trauma is what happened, whatever the memory is, whatever the incident was. The fear is the body's response to what happened, and the shame is the story that's made about who you are because of what happened. And when it surfaces with me, with people in healing sessions and with my own journey, it's definitely that I thought I'd healed this. Why am I feeling it right now? And it is that sense of, am I going backwards? And it's kind of frustrating. But in reality, we can reframe it that actually we are in a safe enough space now in our lives to feel what we couldn't feel then. So it's not a regression, it is an integration. And the light of the consciousness that is growing is illuminating what was once hidden. And it's not to be punished or feel like, oh, this always happens to me, I must be cursed and all of those things. It is just to bring those all the shadow aspects back into wholeness, which is what the whole kind of awakening journey is about, of the different stages in it. And shame can't be healed just by mentally understanding it. It has to be healed through your own loving presence towards it. So meeting that shamed part with curiosity instead of really just judging them and that behaviour, having deep compassion for them instead of really analysing it and why, and just really being present with it instead of the old pattern, which has been to avoid it and suppress it because it feels too difficult to confront. And that part then gets the message that it's not exiled anymore, it's not held out in the cold, and it comes back into oneness. And the moment that you can look at that version of yourself, the one who you judged, you hid, or you rejected, and you can say, I see what you did, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, and you did the best you could with the information you had at the time, and I completely love you. Then that wounding dissolves and we no longer operate with that shame energy in our energetic system. And that's in reintegration, and that's coming back to wholeness. So shame only survives in the dark, but when we meet it with love, as with everything and everyone actually, it has nothing left to protect. And then it just simply dissolves, and it's quite simple. It just feels more scary than it actually is. So I hope that helped someone today. It seemed quite relevant to talk about that for some reason today. And yes, just sending you lots of love.